Hello students, welcome to the course on analog and digital communication systems. The course code is EC501. This is the course for BTech 5th semester EC students. Myself, Dr. Surojit Bashak, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata. And this is my official mail address. In the last few classes, we have completed the probability, basic definitions of probability, its property, cumulative distribution function, joint probability, probability density function, relation between CDF and PDF, and we have also discussed about some standard probability models like binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, Gaussian distribution, Rayleigh distribution, and uniform distribution. And in the last class, we have started the second topic of module 2, that is noise performance in amplitude modulation. So let us start lecture number 4 from the second module, random process, and the topic is noise in amplitude modulation. The lesson objective of this topic is study the effects of noise on various analog communication systems, and this topic is mapped with the CO number 2. So let us start lecture number 4 from the second module, random process, with the topic of noise in amplitude modulation. Although in the last class we have started this topic and calculated the SNR from single sideband suppressed carrier. Just I brief recapitulate the topic of the last class. After that, we are starting the noise performance in double sideband suppressed carrier and double sideband full carrier, that is amplitude modulation. As we have discussed that this is the figure of a basic AM receiver, or it is called super heterodyne receiver. Here the input to the system might be a signal furnished by a receiving antenna, which receives its signal from a transmitting antenna. The carrier of the received signal is called radio frequency carrier, and its frequency is the radio frequency, which is denoted as FRF, that is this frequency. Now this frequency comes to the RF amplifier. I just give you the basic recapitulations. Then this, after modulation, the RF amplifier, it goes to the mixer. In the mixer, here also a sinusoidal signal from the local oscillator, whose frequency is FOSC, oscillator frequency, local oscillator frequency, is added and mixture actually generate additive and subtracted frequency, and mixed in the mixture there is a filter is present which reject the additive part. It only passes the subtracted part, that is which is called the intermediate frequency. When it is goes to the IF amplifier, it is called intermediate frequency, which is actually the difference between the oscillator frequency FOSC minus the RF frequency FRF, and then it goes to the IF carrier filter. After that, it goes to a demodulator. We mainly use synchronous demodulator. So a synchronous local carrier is required for demodulation, and after that it goes to a baseband filter whose frequency which is band limited to FM Hz, and from the baseband filter we get the output power, and which is denoted as S0, and the output noise power N0. And in the IF carrier filter we have basically applied the modulated IF carrier whose power is, that is the input power is I, and white noise whose power spectral density is eta by 2. So based on this we have determined the SNR of first single sideband suppressed carrier, then move for the DSB-SC double sideband suppressed carrier and double sideband full carrier, that is amplitude modulation. So for that case, for SSB-SC calculation of signal power, we have assumed that in case of SSB-SC, either upper sideband or lower sideband can pass. We have assumed that here only USB is passed through the carrier filter. So the input, the expression of the SSB-SC is A cos 2 pi into FC plus FM into T, and whose naturally the input power is A square by 2. So first we calculate the signal power while the noise is absolutely absent, and then we calculate the noise power when the signal is not applied, and after that we accordingly we get the output signal power and output noise power, and from the ratio signal to output signal power by output noise power we get the SNR. So first of all we have assumed here for the carrier filter, which is assumed rectangular and a bandwidth no wider than is necessary to accommodate the signal. So accordingly the HCF has a bandwidth of FM Hz. HCF is the frequency response of carrier filter, and multiplier, a synchronous multiplier is required to demodulate the signal. So naturally a cos 2 pi FCT added to the multiplier, and after that it goes to the baseband filter. So accordingly we get A cos 2 pi FC plus FM into T is the input, as we have assumed that only USB is transmitted. So this is S1T, and after multiplication by cos 2 pi FCT we get the S2T, which is A by 2 cos 2 pi f2fc plus fm into t plus a by 2 cos 2 pi fm t. So naturally, when it is this S2T is transmitted to the baseband filter, whose frequency is minus FM to plus FM hertz. So it only passes this 2 pi FMT, this part, and it rejects the 2FC plus FM part. So ultimately from the output we get S0T is equal to A by 2 cos 2 pi FMT. So the output signal power is half into a square by 2. So the output signal power is a square by 8, which is SI by 4. So S0 by SI is equal to 1 by 4. Now calculation of noise power, which is very much important. I just describe the SSBSC very briefly, as it already detailed discussion is already held in the last class. So the calculation of noise power. See the diagram again. The input noise spectral density Gn is equal to eta by 2, and Gn1 is the noise spectral density after the carrier filter, and after the multiplier it is Gn2, and from the output the noise spectral power density is Gn0. Now Gn1, what is Gn1? Because the response of the carrier filter is only this, like that, only FM hertz. It accommodates only FM hertz, that is FC to FC plus FM, and in the lower sideband case minus FC to minus FC minus FM. So noise can accommodate only in this region, in these two region, and outside this region there is no noise power. Because of the already we assume that this filter response of this filter or bandwidth of the filter is such that only the signal can pass through this filter. So Gn1 is same as FC to FC plus FM and minus FC to minus FC minus FM, and the amplitude or power is eta by 2. Now when it is multiplied with cos 2 pi FCT, what happened? Now remember the spectrum of amplitude modulation. Just when the spectrum is multiplied by a carrier of cos 2 pi FCT carrier frequency, it is shifted by plus minus FC. So similarly here also the spectrum is shifted by plus minus FC. So this part is 2FC plus FC. If it is shifted, this part is plus by plus FC, then if this part is 2FC and 2FC plus FM and again minus FC. So this part is 0 to FM, and for this part again minus twice FC to minus twice FC minus FM, and again plus FC, that is 0 to minus FM. And that in case of amplitude modulation, the spectrum is shifted by plus minus FC when it is multiplied by cos 2 pi FCT, and amplitude was reduced by half. But here we consider the power. So in case of power, it is reduced by 1/4. because of amplitude square is the power. So in case of power, we are here considering the power. So in case of power, it is reduced by 1/4. So that is the power is considered power is eta by 2. Now this goes to baseband filter. This GN2 goes to the baseband filter whose spectrum is -FM to +FM. So only this in this region it can pass -FM to +FM, and rest it rejects. So see, -FM to +FM, this part is only transmitted and rest these two part are rejected. So the output noise power is, the bandwidth is twice FM into eta by 2. So eta FM by 4, which was the output noise power in case of SSBSC signal. Now the signal to noise ratio, output signal to noise ratio, which is denoted as S0 by N0, which is SI by 4. SI by 4 is the output signal power, and eta FM by 4 is the output noise power. So it is SI by eta into FM, which is the signal to noise ratio, output signal to noise ratio for single sideband suppressed carrier, and this ratio is called figure of merit. Okay. Now we move for the calculation of SNR calculation of double sideband suppressed carrier. So let us start the noise performance in double sideband suppressed carrier. When a baseband signal of frequency range FM Hz is transmitted over a DSBSC system, the bandwidth of the carrier filter must be twice FM rather than FM, which is considered as in SSBSC case, because in SSBSC the bandwidth was FM Hz. Thus the input noise in the frequency range FC minus FM to FC plus FM will contribute to the output noise rather than only FC to FC plus FM as in SSBSC case. In case of SSBSC, the bandwidth was FM Hz, but in DSBSC, as we know that here double sideband, both USB and SSB can transmit it. So the bandwidth is twice FM, but in SSBSC, so naturally the frequency range of the carrier filter is FC minus FM to FC plus FM, whereas in SSBSC it was FC to FC plus FM. So first we calculate here the noise power, then we move for the calculation of signal power. See again carefully that input noise Gn is eta by 2, eta is the RMS noise power, Gn1 is the noise spectral density power after the carrier filter, and after multiplier it is Gn2, and output noise spectral power density is Gn0. And here the carrier filter response of the carrier filter is not FC to FC plus FM. Here it is FC minus FM to FC plus FM, as it is DSBSC. So as we have assumed that the carrier filter has no wide, only passes, the bandwidth of the carrier filter is such that it can passes only the signal. So the bandwidth of the carrier filter is again twice FM. So it passes only the signal. So the noise accumulated in the GN1 is like that, because the noise only, we are considering the noise only in the spectrum. Outside of the noise, outside the noise considered outside the spectrum is rejected. Only we consider the noise inside the spectrum. So let us consider here the spectrum is like that. That is, it belongs to my FC minus FM to FC plus FM and minus FC minus FM to minus FC plus FM, which is identified as A, B, C, D region. And the noise power is eta by 2. Now, as we know, here for synchronous detection, again multiplier is required. And in the multiplier, a local carrier cos 2 pi FCT is added. Now, if this signal is multiplied with cos 2 pi FCT, then what happened? Again, the spectrum is shifted by plus minus FC. See, this is the most important thing of DSBSC calculation, noise calculation in DSBSC. Listen carefully. So when it is multiplied by cos 2 pi FCT, so the spectrum is shifted by plus minus FC. So CD term, C and D term, when this term is shifted by plus FC, then it goes to 2FC minus FM to 2FC plus FM, and this FC goes to 2 FC. See here the CD term. And when this comes, just adding plus FC in the spectrum. Now subtracting FC, that is minus FC. So this comes to the minus FM to plus FM. See the difference of noise performance in SSBSC and DSBSC. So it is minus FM to plus FM. Now from this part, when it is minus FC, so this could be minus twice FC, see the AB part, and this is minus twice FC minus FM and minus twice FC plus FM. And we already know that the amplitude is reduced by half, and obviously this is a power is reduced by 1/4 as we know it. So eta by 2 is here, eta by 8 comes to eta by 8, and here also eta by 8. Now the question is, why here comes eta by 4? See, for CD part, when it is minus FC, the frequency is minus FM to plus FM. See, minus FM to plus FM, CD part. And for the AB part, see the part when plus FC, when the frequency term is added with plus FC. So this is again minus FM to plus FM, and this minus fc to plus fc, that is 0. So this part is minus fm to plus fm. So again eta by 8 is added. So first eta by 8 due to CD, and again eta by 8 added due to AB. So ultimately in this region the noise is eta by 4. So what is the output noise power? Output noise power for DSB-SC signal after the baseband filtering, because here this part only passes through the baseband filter, and this AB part and this CD part, that is eta by 2 and this eta by 2 are rejected because of the baseband filter has a spectrum of minus FM to plus FM. See here the response of the baseband filter is minus FM to plus FM. So therefore only this region, that is minus FM to plus FM, this region can pass through the baseband filter. So the output noise power for the DSB-SC signal after the baseband filter is denoted as, say, N0, which is eta by 4. See here, eta by 4 multiplied by the bandwidth, that is twice FM, where eta into FM by 2. Now what is the noise performance or output noise power for SSB-SC? Can you remember? See, that was eta FM by 4 for SSB-SC. And now for DSB-SC, the output noise power is eta into FM by 2. Now move for the calculation of signal power for DSB-SC. We might imagine that for equal received power, the ratio of output SNR for DSB-SC would be only half the corresponding ratio for SSB-SC. We shall now see that such is not the case, and the ratio of output SNR is same for both the cases. Now for the performance comparison, one should have the same platform, that is the input signal power and input signal noise. Then only we can compare the output SNR. So already we can see that input noise power is same, that is eta by 2 for both DSB and SSB-SC case. Now to keep the received power, input power is same for SSB-SC. Here we multiplied it, the signal is multiplied it, input signal is multiplied it by √2, and correspondingly we get the input signal is √2 into A cos 2 pi FMT into cos 2 pi FCT. So one can get 2 cos A cos B, cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. So A by √2 cos 2 pi into fc plus fm into t plus a by root 2 cos 2 pi into fc minus fm into t. So this part is USB and this part is the lower sideband LSB. So the input power or received input power is, for the first part, for the USB is half into amplitude square. So half into a by root 2 whole square, and for the LSB plus half into a by root 2 whole square. So the received input signal power is a square by 2. Here multiplier is used for the demodulation. In the demodulator, SIT is multiplied by cos omega CT. The upper sideband term yields a signal within the passband of the baseband filter, which is given as S0 dash T is 1 by A by 2 root 2 cos 2 pi FMT, and the lower sideband term which yields S0 double dash T is equal to A by root 2 root 2 cos 2 pi FMT. Observe that this S0 dash T and S0 double dash T are in phase, and hence the output signal is added because they are in phase term. So S0T output signal is denoted as S0T, which is S0 dash T plus S0 double dash T, which is A by root 2 cos 2 pi FMT. Which has an output power S0, which is half into A by root 2 whole square, so which is a square by 4. So that is input power was a square by 2 and it is a square by 4 is the output power. So it is output power S0 is equal to SI by 2. And for the SSB case, the output power S0 is equal to a square by 8, which is basically SI by 4. So for the SSB, it was SI by 4, whereas in DSB, it is SI by 2. Thus, we see that when a received signal of fixed power is split into two sideband components, each of half power, as in DSB-SC, rather than being left in a single sideband, the output signal power increases by a factor of 2. See here, this increase results from the fact that the contributions from each sideband yield output signals which are in phase. A doubling in amplitude causes a fourfold increase in power. This fourfold increase due to the in-phase addition of S0 dashed and S0 double dashed. Thus, the overall improvement in output signal power is by a factor of 2. Okay. So this is the real reason, the overall improvement of the output signal power. Therefore, the output signal to noise ratio for DSB-SC is output signal denoted as S0 by N0, which is the output signal power is SI by 2. See here, SI by 2, and the output noise power is eta FM by 2. So SI by 2 by eta FM by 2. So which is SI by eta FM, which is exactly same or exactly identical as for SSB-SC. So the SSB-SC and DSB-SC signal have the same or identical output SNR. Now move for the calculations of DSB-FC and see the output SNR or DSB-FC, that means basically double sideband full carrier, that means basically amplitude modulation. So let us start the noise performance of double sideband with carrier. Here also demodulation is achieved synchronously as in SSB-SC and DSB-SC case. The carrier is used as a transmitted reference to obtain the reference signal cos omega ct. We note that the carrier increases the total input signal power but makes no contribution to the output signal power. Hence, the signal to noise ratio, output signal to noise ratio S0 by N0, which is SI SB by eta FM, where SI SB is the power in the sideband components. So here SI in case of DSB or SSB, it was SI by eta FM. So here double sideband with carrier, SI is replaced with the SI SB, that is the power in sideband alone. Suppose that the received signal is SIT equal to A into 1 plus MT cos 2 pi FCT. So that means SIT is equal to A cos 2 pi FCT plus A into MT cos 2 pi FCT, where MT is the basic baseband signal. So the first term A cos 2 pi FCT is the carrier signal, and in this part, that is A into MT cos 2 pi FCT, in this part two sidebands, that is the upper sideband and lower sidebands are present. So carrier and two sidebands are present here. So the total input power is A square by 2 plus SI sideband power, input sideband power. So this power A square by 2 is nothing but your carrier power, power of the carrier signal, that is this power of this signal. And the sideband power associated with that this term AMT cos 2 pi FCT is A square by 2 M square T bar. here the bar of m square t represents time average of the square of modulating waveform. We then have that the total input power Si, which is given by Si is equal to a square by 2 plus sideband power. So a square by 2 carrier power plus sideband power, a square into m square bar into t. So common, if we take the common part, a square by 2 into 1 plus m square t bar. So this is the total input power. So eliminating a square, we get the sideband power is m square t bar divided by 1 plus m square t bar into Si. So S0 by N0 output SNR is m square t bar by 1 plus m square t into Si by eta Fm. Now in terms of carrier power, PC is equal to a square by 2. Output SNR is equal to m square t bar into PC by eta Fm. Now if the modulating signal or modulation is sinusoidal, where the modulating signal mt is equal to m cos 2 pi fmt, where m is the amplitude and frequency is fm, then SIT is a into 1 plus m cos 2 pi fmt into cos 2 pi fct. See here, just to replace the value of mt. So we get the input signal SIT is equal to A into 1 plus m cos 2 pi fmt into cos 2 pi fct. Therefore, in this case, m square t bar is m square by 2 and the output SNR is m square t by 2 plus m square into Si by eta Fm. Now, when the carrier is transmitted only to synchronize the local demodulator, waveform say cos 2 pi fct, relatively little carrier power need to be transmitted. So in this case, m much greater than 1. So accordingly, m square by 2 plus m square equal to 1, almost equal to 1. So the signal to noise ratio is not greatly reduced by the presence of the carrier. On the other hand, when the envelope demodulation is used, it is required that m or must be less than or equal to 1. Now when m equal to 1, that means the carrier is 100% modulated. In this case, m square by 2 plus m square equal to 1 by 3, so that the power is transmitted only 1/3 is in the sidebands, which contribute to the signal power output. So this is the output SNR with two conditions: when M much greater than 1 and when M less than equal to 1. So when M much greater than 1, the output SNR is SI by eta FM, which is identical for DSBSC and SSBSC case. And when the envelope detector is used, that means when synchronous detector is used, then all three, that is AM, DSBSC and SSBSC, have the identical SNR, output SNR, which is SI by eta FM. But when we use the envelope detector for the demodulation purpose of AM or DSB FC, the output SNR basically the 1/3 of the SI by eta FM. So this is all about the noise performance of continuous modulation, that is the amplitude modulation, the double sideband suppressed carrier and single sideband suppressed carrier. Now I go for a problem, numerical problems. The problem is like that. Given an analog baseband communication system with additive white noise having power spectral density eta by 2 and a distorting channel having the frequency response HCW equal to 1 by 1 plus j omega by W. The distortion is equalized by a receiver filter having the frequency response H EQW equal to 1 by HCW whenever W belongs to 0 to W, omega basically, whenever omega belongs to 0 to W and otherwise it is 0. Now in that case, obtain an expression for the output SNR. This is a very interesting problem, and this type of problem comes in your GATE examination. Okay. So you have to determine the output SNR, and the input noise has a PSD of power spectral density is eta by 2 and the distorting channel whose frequency response is HC omega, which is 1 by 1 plus j omega by W. And this distortion is equalized by a receiving filter whose frequency having frequency response H equivalent EQ omega equal to 1 by HC omega, where omega belongs to 0 to W, otherwise it is 0. Now how it can be solved? See, the output signal power S0 is 1 by 2 pi integration of minus infinity to plus infinity HC omega, that is the distortion channel omega square, and the receiving filter expression H equivalent W H EQ W square into S XX W d omega into d omega, where this X S XX omega is basically the PST of the message signal XT. So message signal, PST, power spectral density of the message signal. So output signal power is, now see, HCW and H equivalent W. See here HCW and HEQW is just the reverse. So it is cancelled out. These two are cancelled. Only this term exists, S PST of the message signal. So output signal power is 1 by 2 pi, and it exists from minus FM to plus FM. SXX omega d omega, which is say SX, which is basically the average signal power. So this identifies the average signal power. Now the average output noise power is N0, which is 1 by 2 pi minus infinity to plus infinity, the PST of the input noise, that is eta by 2, and the response of the receiving filter square. So H EQ omega square into d omega. So which is H equivalent omega, which is basically 1 by HCW, that is 1 plus j omega by omega, and it exists for 0 to W. So 1 its square, so 1 plus omega by W square into d omega, and the integration limit, see here, 0 to omega. So it is eta by 2 pi, as it was constant term, into, after integrate it, this term is 4 by 3 into W. So ultimately the average output noise power is 4 by 3 into eta FM. Therefore the output SNR is S0 by N0 is signal power, average output signal power is SX by average output noise power is 4 by 3 into eta into FM. So ultimately 3 into SX by 4 eta into FM. So this is the output SNR. So this type of problem is very much, which mainly comes in GATE examination. So today I stop here, and the next class we discuss on the noise performance in frequency modulation. So thank you. So thank you. Let us stop here. Okay, thank you.